Welcome to the Winnipeg Public Library's online word processing tutorials. This video will look at moving and copying data. Moving lets you relocate text within the current document or possibly to a different file. The commands that we use can be accessed 4 different ways. Looking at the ribbon, the clipboard section of the Home tab contains the 2 menu options that we need, cut and paste. You'll notice that the cut command is gray right now because I haven't selected any text yet to make that button active. The 4 steps involved in moving then start with highlighting what you want to move. So I'm going to take the word bricks and the following punctuation and space and move it in front of the word wooden. So with my text highlighted, you'll now see that the cut command is black or active. So I'm going to single click on cut. I now need to show the computer where I want the text to be moved to. So I'm going to click right beside the W of wooden. When I choose paste, that text that I had cut will automatically be inserted to the left or in front of the cursor. If my cursor was at the beginning of a paragraph and I chose paste, the text I was moving would be placed on top of the cursor. Let's do one more cut and paste. I'm going to just scroll down to the bottom of the page. In this last paragraph, the sentences need to be changed. The first sentence refers to image B. The second sentence references image A, so I just want to change the order of those 2. To select a sentence quickly, I can hold down my Control key and just single click my left mouse button. That will highlight everything up to a period and space. With that text selected, I could go back to cut, or if you like working with your mouse, you can click your right mouse button to bring up a short menu or a quick menu. This shortcut menu gives me access to the same cut command that I have in the ribbon. I'm going to left click on cut. As I did before, I'm now going to click in front of the first paragraph because that's where I want my sentence to be moved to. I could right click and then just choose paste, keep source formatting. For straight text moving, that keep source formatting is the fastest, easiest way to reinsert the text. And as you can see, it worked like a charm. For those of you who like working with the mouse, it is possible to use a feature called dragging and dropping. So you're literally dragging a selection to a different location. Drag and drop works best if you can see the text that you want to move and its destination on the same screen. It's not all that good for moving text from page to page. I still need to select the text I want to move. So here I want to take this section, replace the lug nuts, and move it in front of or above lower the vehicle. So my text is highlighted. To use drag and drop, I want to make sure my mouse is on the selection. I click, hold my left mouse button down, and you'll notice as I start to drag the mouse, a little square has appeared underneath the white selection arrow, and there's also a vertical line at the point of the arrow. I want to position that vertical line where the text is to be moved to. Once I get it in the right spot, I just release my mouse and the text is then inserted in that section. If when you're moving something goes terribly wrong, rather than try to fix it by cutting and pasting again, you'll find that using the undo button will get your text back to its original location quickly and easily, so that all you have to do is restart the moving process. Copying is another way of dealing with existing text, and what this lets you do is duplicate something that you have already keyed in. So I'm going to change my view to a 2-page view so that I can copy the main titles of these sections to the bottom of the file, sort of act as a summary for the document. Okay. Copying consists of the 3 of the 4 same steps. The only difference is instead of cutting the text, I'm going to select the copy menu. So I'm going to first highlight what I want to duplicate. The copy button is now active, and I'm going to single left click on it. You'll notice with the copy that the original text does not leave the file. I have the same 3rd step. I have to click where I want the text to appear. I'll then click the paste button for that text to be duplicated. One more time, I'm highlighting the text I want to copy. I can use the copy button again, or as you've guessed, I can right click on the selection and choose copy command from here. I right click where I want the text to go, and then paste. You can also use the mouse to copy and drag, but there's one major difference, and that's that we have to use our right mouse button. If you left click and drag a selection, the system automatically moves it. By right clicking and dragging, you have the option of moving or copying. Let's select our next title, and I'm going to do a right drag. The only reason I would do it on the 2 separate pages is that I can see the destination on my screen. So like I did before, my mouse is repositioned on the highlighted text. I'm going to right click and drag. And when I release my mouse, I'm being asked whether I want to move or copy. If I left click on copy, I've duplicated the text. Piece of cake. That pretty much covers the highlights of moving and copying. Thank you for watching this video. Happy word processing. Welcome to this word processing video looking at different ways of viewing your document. The status bar at the bottom of your screen has in the lower right corner 2 different sections to look at. The first area, has 3 buttons in it. Now I'm using Word 2016. Those of you with older versions of Word may notice a 4th button that's not appearing on my status bar. We'll talk about that when we look at the View ribbon. The center button is highlighted because that's the display I'm using right now. If I position my mouse on it, it's indicating I'm using print layout. So print layout shows me the document the way it appears on the page, the way that it's going to be printed. So as I scroll down, I can see the page breaks, I can see the margins, all of the graphics as they were inserted and formatted. So it's the most realistic way of looking at your document. The first button in the group, Read Mode, lets you view the file as if it's a printed book. So I have a right pointing arrow at the far edge of my screen, so I can single click on that and advance to the next 2 pages. This view in no way reflects how the document will print, but it does give you a convenient way of reading a lot of text at one time. To get out of this view, I simply select one of the other options. I went back to print layout. Now the third button, the web layout, shows you what your document would look like if you decided to publish it as a web page. On the positive side, I'm able to see a lot more of the file on my screen. I can edit my document as if I were in print layout view, and that's a feature that read mode does not let you do. It's not, though, going to give me an idea of what my final copy will look like. So I'm just going to go back to print layout. The other viewing tool just to the right is the zoom control. So you'll see a percentage right at the end of the status bar indicating the size of the document and the text on your screen. I can increase the zoom by either clicking on the plus sign. You'll notice my percentage is going up 10 at a time, or I can drag this zoom box to increase it a little more quickly. This text is now very readable on the screen, but it's not going to print this way. Zooming simply alters how the document appears. It in no way affects the actual fonts that you are using. I could, if I wanted to see more, use the minus button or drag the zoom bar down to a smaller number. Now you'll find, again, depending on the version of Word you're using, that multiple pages may then start to appear. Now these same two features can also be found on the View ribbon. So I'm just going to click on that. The views were the three buttons that we had looked at first. Again, read, print, and web layout. Again, read mode, print layout, and web layout we looked at with the buttons on the screen. Outline view has a very narrow scope of document it works for. You need to be typing a file where you had main levels or main headings, secondary headings, and as you went to lesser importance, you were indenting text from the margin. Draft mode is straight no frills text. You'll notice the graphics I had disappeared. I'm still able to edit, but the focus on draft view is just the text only. So I'm going to go back to print layout. Zooming is controlled by the options in this zoom section of the ribbon. When I click on the magnifying zoom button, I can choose different options. I can set my own percentage. You'll notice I have options for page width, text width, or the entire page. If I were to choose page width as an example and OK out, my document has expanded to pretty much fill my desktop with the file. I'm just going to go back to the 100%. I do have the option of displaying multiple pages as well. It's just a way, again, of letting me see more easily on my screen. If I continue to reduce the zoom, the pages shrink and more become visible on my desktop. There's one other way to look at your document on the screen, and that's through the Print Preview dialog box. You may see a shortcut in your Quick Launch toolbar to activate this feature, or if you do not, you'd click on the blue File tab and select the Print command. I'm looking at 2 pages right now because there's a fairly low zoom in the screen. If I increase the zoom, I can then see and read the entire page. I can use the left and right arrows at the bottom to then display the pages of my file. If the document looks okay and I've set my print options up, I can simply click the print button and the system will exit me back to my document screen. If I want to go back and change something about my file, I would click on this left circular arrow in the corner of my screen. Takes me back to my desktop where I can then continue my work. I think that pretty much covers viewing documents. If you're in a display that you want to change, you can either rely on the options in the status bar, or perhaps as a shortcut, a faster way, simply use the view ribbon options to accommodate the display you want to look at. Thank you for watching this video.